And the mystery of the drones now gets even weirder. Good morning, Kuhner country. Okay, my friends, the plot thickens, as they say, and the mystery now continues to intensify. So, I know we talked about it last week. This story not only will not go away, but it is getting bigger and bigger. And here is now what is concerning to so many Americans. The swarm of drones, and I want to stress, large, mysterious drones that have never been spotted before over American skies. In particular, the epicenter seems to be New Jersey, is now getting worse, not better. And it is spreading. These large, mysterious drones, many of them the size of now 8 feet, not 6 feet, 8 feet, the size of a car, some of them the size of a truck or an SUV, many of them emitting no heat whatsoever, untraceable, undetectable, coming in from the ocean, hovering for hours and hours over military sites, critical infrastructure, and then just disappearing back into the ocean, has now spread and expanded all over New Jersey. In at least 12 counties now, they are seeing hundreds of them every single night. In New York City, in Philadelphia, in Connecticut, they're now even being spotted in California. And yes, in New Hampshire and right here in Massachusetts. I kid you not. Over Harwich, Massachusetts in the weekend, right near, actually on Cape Cod, at least 15 of these huge mother drones were spotted hovering and flying in the sky. Now, according to local reports, Quincy, Massachusetts, there has been a sighting of a very large, strange-looking drone monitoring, surveilling, flying in the sky. Logan Airport, 2 men have been arrested for flying a drone very close to Logan, violating Logan airspace. It's happening now all across the country. Airports are being temporarily shut down. In New Jersey in particular, to show you how bad it's now getting, you have local mayors, state police, local police, the Democrat governor of New Jersey, Democrat members of Congress, not just Republicans, Democrat members of Congress. In New York, Democrat Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, all of them now saying, we are being lied to by our government. They know what's in the sky, and they just don't want to tell us. They refuse to tell us. Now, off the coast of New Jersey, the Coast Guard, the military, is now saying that they are being followed at times by 13 up to 30, and in one case, 50 of these drones that just track them, chase after them, surveil them, and then when they try to release our drones that our Coast Guard has to pursue or investigate the situation, these drones just disappear. Our military drones being sent by the Coast Guard cannot keep up with these drones that are spying and surveilling them. They either outrun them or they just literally disappear. The Coast Guard has now come out and said these are mysterious drones, the likes of which in the military have never seen. State police have now come out and said in New Jersey that they have multiple photographs of huge drones. In fact, one of them, you've got to see it. I'm not kidding. It's something out of Star Trek. There's just no other way to put it. It's the first time I said to myself, this may be a UFO. I mean, you know my theory on this. I still think these are foreign adversaries. I think this is China and Iran, and they are violating our airspace, and Joe Biden is deliberately allowing them to, and they are probing our defenses, and they are gaining massive secret information off of everything. And by the way, these drones hover over power lines, nuclear power plants, water reservoirs, not just Picatinny Arsenal, which is a key Army research weapons manufacturing facility, or Fort Dix, or the big naval center in New Jersey. They're not just spying on key military installations and bases. They are clearly now scoping and casing critical infrastructure across the entire Northeast, now into New England itself. Spotted in New Hampshire, spotted here in Massachusetts. And so you now have state law enforcement saying they have a picture, they've released it. It's the only way I can describe it is it's an orb. It's a massive sphere. Really, think a 1970s discotheque. You know those crystal balls they had in the on the ceilings, and they would kind of like spin, and they were kind of silverish with emanating lights. Well, think that, but 20 feet. It's huge. It is absolutely huge. And it's just spinning and spinning and spinning, and then it just disappeared. Now, what is most concerning of all, now again, I want to stress this. Most Democrats in the House and in the Senate, practically every Republican in Congress, has now come out and said the government is lying to us. It's not just Republicans saying this. It's Democrats, whether they sit on the House Homeland Security Committee, whether it's Democrats on the Senate Intelligence Committee. They're saying, no, they keep giving us briefings, and they keep claiming that they don't know what they are and what their purpose is. And this is now the new line of attack, which is really insulting, John Kirby. They have released John Kirby, that paid liar. He's a disgusting, filthy liar. The National Security Council communications director is now doing the rounds on Sunday talk shows. I swear to you, now the line from this regime is, people are imagining all this. That this is everybody having a national panic attack over nothing. That these are manned aerial vehicles. These are helicopters. These are small planes. This is not, well, what are you people talking about? These aren't unusual, large, mysterious drones. In other words, we're all seeing things. Everybody is seeing things. And you have to ask yourself, who's crazy? The world is crazy? Or the Biden regime is crazy? Well, I don't think the world is crazy. So you mean to tell me the Coast Guard is crazy? These military facilities that have spotted these drones, they're crazy. The state police is crazy. The local police is crazy. The mayors are crazy. The governors are crazy. All of these residents, everybody is crazy. All of the video is crazy. All of the photographs are crazy. That we're all just making this up. They know. Kirby knows. Biden knows. Our government knows. And the question is now, what are they hiding? A New Jersey mayor with guts finally came out and said, I'm going to blow the whistle on this. We had a briefing by federal officials, in which we asked as a local authority, this stuff is flying in our neighborhoods, panicking our residents, spying on our communities and our local military bases, including a local nuclear power plant. Can we shoot this thing down? And they were explicitly told by the feds, listen now to this, that not only did they lack the authority to shoot it down, but that if, God forbid, one of these drones was brought down, to call the bomb squad immediately for explosives and to tell the fire department that they must wear hazmat suits or do not enter the area where the drone crashed or is brought down for fear of biological or chemical weapons inside the drone. This is a drone invasion. America is under siege, and our government is lying to us. Your calls next. 6:20 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Mike was just asking me off air, saying, Jeff, do you think there's any possibility that these drones could be ours? I said, of course. There's no question. And I'm going to get into a huge story. I want to give a hot tip to the Gateway Pundit. There is a very influential, prominent CEO of a drone, an American drone company that is, gets lucrative government contracts. So they're a government-backed drone company. They make drones for the U.S. military and for the U.S. government. And he has come out and said, he goes, look, I'm not trying to scare people, but everybody's asking me because I'm so, influential and prominent in this industry. What do I think it is? And he was very clear. He said, you never see drones at night. There's no reason to fly a drone at night unless it's some kind of a commercial drone, a guy with a $3,000 drone and he just wants to fly it around for fun. To see drones of this size, of this speed, that is completely almost undetectable, and that is going to the ocean and coming from the ocean. And he said, if you're doing mapping, if you're doing agricultural work, at night it's useless. The drones are only operated during the day. The only reason why you would use these kinds of drones at night, these are his words, not mine, is if you're looking to smell gas. Use the drones as sensors to try to track down either some kind of a leak or a dirty bomb, a nuclear bomb, or a nuclear warhead that somehow now is on the loose. So again, he says, look, I'm not trying to get people nervous. I'm not trying to get people to panic. I'm just telling everybody that's what's so disconcerting about all of this. That for them to be using, if it's ours, for them to be using drones at flying that low at night, it's because they're concerned about something. It's a serious potential national security risk. And maybe the reason why they don't want to tell us is to avoid a mass panic. And that's why they're deliberately lying, because their position now has become really untenable. Their position it's ridiculous. It's a joke. And again, I just want to loop back to my monologue. I've never seen this, ever, where you have, forget Republicans, okay, that you'd say, well, they're going to always criticize Biden. Leading Democrats, local Democrats, state Democrats, congressional Democrats, it doesn't matter, coming out and saying, I don't believe them. They're lying to us. So what are they lying to us about? So you have Republicans and Democrats in Congress, Republicans and Democrats in New Jersey. Law enforcement, doesn't matter what their political affiliation is. You have the Coast Guard. You have the military in terms of these facilities where they're saying, no, we know what we photographed. We're one of the most sophisticated military bases in the world. No, this wasn't some little small engine plane. Mayorkas is lying. John Kirby is lying. These were large, mysterious drones. We've never seen the likes of which before. So when our government continues to deliberately and obviously lie and stonewall, then A, no one believes the government, but B, it leads to a lot of conspiracy theories. Everybody now has a theory. And this is one of them, and it's a very concerning theory. That's why the government needs to come clean. They don't have to, if it's ours and they're just testing them, just tell us. You don't have to give us the inside information about the kind of technology or the advancements they've made. It's just, hey, they're ours. Relax. Wink, wink. Okay? Everybody relax. Enjoy your Christmas. But they're not telling us that. And that's what has everybody so worried. Now, just very quick, okay? Very, very quick. There are now many, many more sightings now all across New Jersey. It's getting worse. The swarm of drones are intensifying. They're spreading. They're in New York City. In fact, in the state of New York, they're on the verge of declaring a state of emergency because several local airports now have had to shut down for several hours. Their runways shut down. Not LaGuardia, not JFK, but some of the smaller regional airports, because these drones are now interfering with flights coming and going. Here in Massachusetts, in Harwich, a woman, they have the video. The video proves it. This is not someone looking for attention. Harwich resident Lindsay Muto, hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, M-U-T-O, said that she now spotted in Cape Cod that about a dozen drones the size of an SUV hovering around her house. She said, quote, "It's very concerning, very unnerving, and unsettling." Now, this is being confirmed. Similar sightings all across Massachusetts now, all across New Hampshire. More next. 6:33 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer, 617-266-6868. Okay, honestly, all kidding aside, as I said on X last night, this is now a national crisis. It is. It may not be. I mean, I hope this is all benign, that these drones and these drone sightings and that it's our own government or they're just testing or whatever. But because our government, and in particular Biden, Kirby, Karine Jean-Pierre, the feds are lying, not just to us. They're clearly lying to members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans. They're just coming out. I've never seen this, really. In my entire life, I've never seen this. You know, usually one side accuses the other of lying. Everybody, they're like, no, we're being lied to. No, they gave us a briefing. They wouldn't answer our questions. They're caught in blatant contradictions. They think we're that stupid? So I've never seen anything like this, where we are deliberately being lied to. The question now is about what? They know, our government knows what these drones are and what their purpose is, what they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing. And yet they refuse to tell us. Now, very quickly, it's now, by the way, all over New York City now they're being spotted. Philadelphia, Connecticut. Now they're on California. So something's happening now on the West Coast. Here in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. As I said, they've been spotted now, at least about a dozen drones the size of an SUV were spotted. It's caught on camera. Nobody can deny it. Above the residency of a Lindsay Muto, M-U-O-T-O. She says she saw about 12, 13 drones the size of an SUV that were just flying around her house, just buzzing around her house. And as she put it, to see them that big and that close, it's very concerning, unnerving, and unsettling. Now, it's been caught on camera elsewhere in Massachusetts. In Quincy now, definitively, they have spotted some of these large, mysterious drones. Near Logan Airport, they've now been spotted. All the way to, and by the way, the Harwich police chief has now come out and said, my officers have videotaped and spotted these big drones that just are doing stuff that normal drones don't do. And apparently, some of them were hovering over the police station. And the police now are very worried in Harwich, this is down on the Cape, saying, why are they spying on the local police station? Like, what, are they planning something? Are they laying the groundwork for a potential terrorist attack? Like, what's going on? Now, in New Hampshire, about 150 miles away, in Barrington, New Hampshire, another family, on camera, spotted, drones. Large, mysterious drones. According to Norma Boyd of Barrington, she said, we never thought we would see it in our own backyard. And they're all saying, we need answers. We have kids at our homes. These things are flying right over our house. Now, Governor Maura Healey, Hold It Healey, has now come out and said she's, quote, monitoring the situation closely. Well, that makes me feel better. Really, huh? Oh, well, hey, they're monitoring it. They're on top of the situation. Relax. Don't worry. Listen now to Kirby. This is John Kirby. You want to talk about the propagandist in chief. This guy, I mean, the sky's not blue. What do you mean it's not blue? Everybody can see it's blue. No, it isn't. The sky's not. It's purple. What are you talking about? This is Kirby, asked by Jackie Heinrich. How can you keep telling us that there is no security threat, either national security or public safety, when you at the same time admit you have no idea what these drones are? Listen to his unbelievable response. Roll cut 7, Mike.
Basically, with what you're looking at, how can you credibly tell people that there is no public safety threat, there's no national security threat, that there's no reason to believe that a foreign government is involved?
Because the analysis thus far, in an investigation that is ongoing, has not revealed any national security or malicious intent or criminal activity. But, Jackie, I would remind you, we're at the beginning here, not the end. There's a lot more work to be done, and we're working closely with state and local authorities to gain more information. I would argue that we're moving pretty well here with a sense of energy to try to figure out what we can do to learn more about this. We're still in the middle of an ongoing investigation, and I'm up here explaining to you and letting you know what we know so far, what we believe so far. If information comes to light that changes that characterization, then my goodness, we'll be the first ones to let you know. But right now, there's just no indication that this is some sort of foreign malign activity or, in fact, even criminal.
This is unbelievable. This is, I'm telling you. Now, by the way, he's giving the same spiel in private to members of Congress. Like, it's not just that he's BSing the public and the media. He's BSing, that's what he's BSing Democrats, he's BSing Republicans. It's the same spiel. And they say, but look, you literally come in and say you have no idea what they are. Yeah. So, how do you know they're not a national security threat? Well, just because of the analysis. Well, then, what does the analysis tell you? You must know something. No, we don't know what it is. We can just tell you it's not a threat. But how do you know? And it's like circular. It's the same BS over and over and over. Now, listen to this. They don't even admit that drones are being spotted, that they're being sighted. This is now the new shtick. He said this from the podium. And then they sent them out to do the media rounds, which is now inflaming people up on Capitol Hill even more, which is angering the governor of New Jersey and Kathy Hochul. Again, Phil Murphy in New Jersey is a Democrat. Kathy Hochul is a Democrat. And they're like, you're lying to us. As Phil Murphy said, how many photos do we have to show you before you, like, no, this is not a drone? We're all crazy now? Listen to Kirby saying, this could be a plane. This could be a manned aerial vehicle. This could be a commercial air traffic. You're all seeing things. Roll cut 7A, Mike.
We haven't seen.
Government know what they are.
We are still investigating this. I can't tell you definitively. I cannot characterize for you definitively what these sightings are. I can just go back to what I said at the opening. We've looked at the imagery. We can't corroborate some of the reported sightings through our own expert analysis using sophisticated detection techniques. But that doesn't mean that, we're putting our pen down here this afternoon and calling it a day. We're going to keep at this.
What are you doing?
We are continuing to investigate it, as I said in my opening statement, 2 federal agencies, as well as the United States Coast Guard and state and local law enforcement officials, which we are staying in close touch with.
I mean, not 1, but 2. By the way, FBI and Homeland Security, Mayorkas. I swear to you, Chris Wray, who's on his way out, and Mayorkas, they're on top of this. Hey, don't worry. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. It's nothing. You're imagining it. But Mayorkas and Chris Wray, they're on top of it. Listen now. 40 seconds, Mike? All right, I'm going to play this on the other side, and I want to take calls. You got to listen to a state rep in New Jersey who says, we've had it. Here in New Jersey, we have had it. And he rips Kirby a new one. Oh, you got to hear it. What are we seeing in the skies? And it's getting worse and not better. Are you worried? Are you concerned? Should we be worried? Should we be concerned? All of your calls next. 650 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. In this case, cleaning up the government bull. Not the liberal bull. It's the government bull. Okay, just very, very quickly, there is a very important meeting tonight, and I'm urging all of you, if you can, if you go check it out. You really want to hear it. It's going to be Karen Vaughn is going to be, Jessica Vaughn. In fact, we're going to have her on tomorrow, but she is going to be giving a very important talk. It is, she's the director of policy studies for the Center for Immigration Studies. Trump, the new immigration, the new Trump era. And in particular, she is going to lay out what President Trump is planning to do for not just nationally, but for the sanctuary city of Boston and for the sanctuary state of Massachusetts. And she is going to be speaking tonight, letting everybody know what the Trump administration and Tom Homan plan to do and what Michelle Wu and Governor Healy are going to do to try to block, defy, and resist Trump's mass deportation. She is going to be speaking tonight, Monday, December 16, 7 p.m., 1 Morrell Street in West Roxbury / Boston, Elks Hall. If you want more information or you want to get tickets to attend the event, contact Lou Murray of Bostonians Against Sanctuary Cities, and he can be reached LL Murray, Murray, so LL Murray, JR at gmail.com. And I'll be giving this out a couple more times throughout the show because honestly, I think this talk and what Jessica Vaughn has to say, we've had her on multiple times. She's a brilliant, brilliant thinker and writer and analyst. So I think it's that important. So I will be promoting this and plugging it, mentioning it at least 2 or 3 times during today's show. Okay, very, very quick. Kirby is lying. Mayorkas is lying. But I can play another cut of Mayorkas where literally what he says is, we're all imagining this. These are commercial drones. These are residential drones. These are ordinary, just, run-of-the-mill drones. That this is, what's everybody getting overexcited about? They're just drones. Or they're small planes, or whatever. This is all much ado about nothing. After Kirby came out and said, nothing has been corroborated, nothing has been verified, everybody is losing their minds over nothing, that we're all imagining this. State Representative Brian Bergen went on Fox News and said, I've had enough. Roll cut 8, Mike.
That guy's an idiot. That I can tell you right now. Because the colonel of the state police told the members of the state legislature that one of his helicopters was hovering above a 6-foot wide drone, and he landed that helicopter because he felt unsafe for his pilots. I'm a former Apache helicopter pilot and a member of the New Jersey State Legislature, and I've seen these things in my own community. That guy, I don't even know his name, who was on here a couple minutes ago, is a fool if he's going to say that there's no issue.
Well, he's a former rear admiral in the U.S. Navy named John Kirby. So, helicopter pilot against the admiral. Go ahead.
Well, go Army, beat Navy. That's what I have to say in this regard.
So, in other words, yeah, he's an idiot. Of course, he's a liar. He's a paid shill and a paid liar. He should be Kirby should be ashamed of himself. Now, look, lines are jammed, but let me just play one more. You got to hear this. So, nothing to worry. Again, it's ordinary stuff. It's everyday drones. What are you guys talking about? Everybody's losing their minds over what? Okay, so everyone's crazy. Everyone's panicking. Everyone's exaggerating. Nobody knows what they're talking about. Okay? We're all imagining this. Everybody. But, oh, and it's not a threat. Not a threat. Relax. Don't worry about it. But when they give a briefing, they go, well, okay, if the thing is shot down, what do we do? Whoa, bring a bomb squad. Really? Yeah. And tell your fire department, hazmat suits. What? Why? Could be biological chemical weapons on board. Listen now. Belleville, New Jersey Mayor Michael Melham on Fox saying you're not going to believe what the feds and the state government are now telling the mayors. Listen to this. Roll cut 13. Mike.
On the way here, I was on the phone with my OEM team, and we now have guidance coming from the state. And that guidance does say two different things. First of all, there is a downed drone in our vicinity. We are immediately to call the bomb squad of our county. And second, our fire department has been instructed to make sure they wear hazmat suits.
So if something falls out of the sky that people have seen, and some of these things are as big as an SUV, if that happens, you're to treat this more than a plane crash. It's treated like an attack on the homeland?
That is correct, because they're not quite sure if there's a payload or not.
This is insane. This is insane. No, it's nothing. Don't worry. Not a threat, everybody. Hey, come on, have some more eggnog. What the hell's wrong with everybody? Don't you touch it. Don't you freaking touch it. It could have a payload. It could have bombs. It could have chemical, biological weapons. Holy shamoly. We could all be dead. That's why nobody believes him. Now, we're being lied to. I believe, and as I told Mike, Israel now is about to bomb the hell out of Iran. Netanyahu met with Donald Trump. Hamas has been smashed. Hezbollah has been gutted. Bashar Assad has been toppled. Netanyahu now wants to deliver the finishing blow to the Iranian mullahs. And he is planning a massive, massive air bombing and missile campaign to utterly cripple the Iranian regime. And Trump has told Netanyahu, giving him the green light, saying, I'm not Joe Biden. You think you can bring the mullahs to heel? Go ahead, you have my blessing. What I'm saying is, Israel now is on the verge of a massive war with Iran. The New York Post has confirmed definitively that Iran did purchase a quote-unquote mothership from China, their most sophisticated mothership, which carries a lot of drones and can deploy a lot of drones. They also bought the most sophisticated drone technology from communist China. This mothership was sent out from Iran over a month ago. For 3 weeks, it was undetected. It is now off of the eastern seaboard. Our government has been lying to us. It has been confirmed. The Iranians do have a mothership on the Atlantic Ocean. So, this is my suspicion. I could be wrong. And the reason why everybody has a theory on this, and we all really don't know, is because we're all, in a sense, operating in the dark. We don't have a complete picture. We don't have all the facts. We don't have all the information because so much of it is being hidden from us. So, again, that's why everybody's theory to me is almost as good as anyone else's. My theory, looking at the limited information that I have, the Iranians now are doing two things, combined with communist China. They are sending us a message, loud and clear. If this thing with Israel gets really ugly, and you try to topple the regime a la Bashar Assad in Syria, we are going to bomb your nuclear facilities, your nuclear power plants. We are going to hit your military installations. We're going to poison your water reservoir. We are going to give you the mother of all wars. Or Joe Biden is allowing this to happen as a final gift to the communist Chinese. Remember, who own him, lock, stock, and barrel. He has been swimming. He and his family have been swimming in communist Chinese money for years. So, you want all of our military secrets? You got it. You want to know all about our critical infrastructure? You got it. Because remember, this reaction that we've seen now from the government over the last couple of weeks is identical to the Chinese spy balloon last year. It's the Chinese spy balloon 2.0, except it's with a swarm of drones. Where when it entered U.S. airspace, they denied it. When it flew over the continental United States, hovering over our top nuclear military facilities, they denied it. And then when they couldn't deny it anymore, they then said, same thing, nothing to worry about. There's no threat. What threat? Until they finally shot it down when it reached South Carolina into the ocean. And by then, the damage had been done. So Biden and Joey and this regime have done this already. But this is on a much different scale and on a much different magnitude. I mean, in terms of surveillance and spying, we're being raped. The spy balloon was a probe. This, I'm sorry, is a rape. I mean, this is take our airspace, take our national sovereignty, the entire East Coast, just take everything. I mean, just get all the information you need. Now, that's my theory. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I know something no one else does. Whatever this is, it's not nothing, and it's not something we're all imagining. For Joe Biden and Kirby and Mayorkas and the other scumbags of this criminal cabal, for them to stand there and do nothing, To be so lackadaisical? To be so listless and nonchalant and passive in the face of this? It is beyond disgraceful. It is treasonous. And that's why Donald Trump came out on Friday and said, for the good of the country, shoot these drones down. I stand with Donald Trump. Do you? 617-266-6868. What do you make of these drones? What do you think they are? Why is it getting worse? Are you now worried that they're in New England? Now they're making their way up to New Hampshire and here in Massachusetts? And is Trump right? Is it time to start shooting them down? 617-266-6868. Lines are jammed. John in Malden. You're going to kick us off, John. Thanks for holding and welcome.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah, morning, everybody. Great show. Great guests, whatever. Hey, these are highly advanced drones. And I'm going to tell you now, when Trump gets in, there's going to be planning of attack. We got sleeper cells that came over the border. We don't know who they are, where they are, or what they're going to do next. And hitting the facilities and everything else, they'll do it one at a time, or maybe a bunch at a time. So my advice to anybody who has guns, be prepared. And Joe Biden is letting them do it, and everything is true. That's all I have to say right now.
John, what concerns you more, if you don't mind me asking? What worries you more? That these could be foreign adversaries, China, Iran, whatever, or that it's our own government? What worries you more? That this could be a foreign operation, or that this could be our own government setting something up for Trump when he's about to come to power?
Up for Trump when he gets into power. But you don't know what these drones can carry or what they can do or capable of doing. And the only thing I can suggest is just be ready, know your surroundings, and the old saying goes, see something, say something. Something that's out of ordinary. But, like I said, we got sleeper cells that came over that border, and, all you have to do is put a gun in their hands or put a bomb in their hands, and they'll do something to our facilities and even our water supply.
John, thank you very, very much for that call. I really appreciate it. That's my concern as well. That's always been my concern with Biden's open border. God knows who's come in and who they've let in. And, are these drones now hunting down a potential terrorist with a dirty bomb? By the way, this theory is now gaining a lot more traction. And so we got to pull out our most sophisticated drones to try to track this person because it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I mean, this is why I said this many times, and I'm going to say it again. Joe Biden is the worst president we've ever had. And the damage that he's done to our country, if we're lucky, we can recover from in a generation. If we're lucky. 617-266-6868. Dave in Roxbury. Russ in Boston. Thanks for holding, Russ, and welcome.
Jeff, this is what I want. I want the Speaker of the House to call an emergency meeting of Congress, demand the Joint Chiefs of Staff fully disclose what's going on. If they refuse, ask for their resignation. With the enemy within running this country, who knows what they will try to pull within the next 25 days. Our military has to know what's going on, and they need to tell us who's responsible for these drones. And Jeff, I want to tell you, of someone that served under an incompetent commander-in-chief, I fear how he will respond if there's an attack on our mainland within the next 25 days. I really fear what our response will be. I really do.
Russ, look, I'm with you all the way, brother. You know that. Russ, I got to ask you, This is the other part that worries me. Trump has been asked, and he's very honest, okay, almost too honest, frankly, almost to a fault. And so he's now president-elect. It's within a month, or close to within a month, when he's going to be inaugurated. So he's actually now privy to the national security briefings that the president gets. So he's now getting classified information, and he's being briefed, as well as, Joe Biden. So he was asked, in all these classified briefings now that you're getting, are they telling you what these drones are? Trump has come out and said, no, I don't know what these drones are. They have not told me. So I don't know what they are. I don't know what their origin is. I don't know what their purpose is. I'm as blind to this as everybody else is. All I know is the pictures, and the pictures don't lie. These are unusual drones. They're large drones. They're very sophisticated drones. They're very mysterious drones. Something is going on, and we can all sense it. It's wrong. And I would shoot it down and find out what the hell these don't, what's in these drones? What do they have? My point is this, Russ. If the government is behind this, or they know about this, and I know they do, they're now committing a crime because they're deliberately withholding information from Trump. They're deliberately now keeping Trump blind, deaf, and mute. So they're not telling him the information that he is now privy to and he has the right to have. That's what makes me nervous. Either this is a foreign attack or preparing for a foreign attack, and our government is aiding and abetting it, or they are planning something to hurt or damage the incoming Trump administration. Am I wrong, Russ?
Right. And let us never forget that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff when President Trump was in office, okay, that SOB backstabbed him, okay? He backstabbed us with the communist Chinese, okay? He told them that we'd stand down, okay? That's what he said. So you trusted the Joint Chiefs of Staff? I don't trust them one bit, Jeff. I really don't, okay? And they suck. I'm sorry. I don't trust them, and I believe that they're not telling Trump the truth. I really believe that. They're withholding that information.
Well, which is a crime. I mean, literally, it's illegal. It's a crime. And that, to me, has got me very worried. That, to me, is like, no. Now there's something, they're planning something, or they're committing treason. This is Biden giving the Chinese a final kiss. Here, take it all. Spy, surveil, have it all. So when Trump comes to power, he can not only blackmail you, you can blackmail him, i.e. blackmail the country. So either it's a gift to the communist Chinese and to the Iranians, the final betrayal, or they're planning something very dark and nefarious for the president. Russ, as always, thank you very, very much for that call. 617-266-6868 is the number. Trump should know. If Biden knows, Trump, as the incoming president, by law, must be and should be told. And he has been told nothing. He's been asked to repeat. He goes, I'm telling you, they haven't told me a thing. Your guess is as good as mine. 617-266-6868 is the number. And Russ is right. Remember Milley? Milley pledged his loyalty and allegiance to China, saying, don't you worry. If Trump ever orders me to fight against you, I will warn you ahead of time. I don't trust the Joint Chiefs. I don't trust Biden. I don't trust this government. Okay. On the great WRKO, Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer, 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, let me ask all of you. It is the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Kelly Finance. Sorry, my bad. Sponsored by Mario's. Mario's Quality Roofing, Siding, and Windows. So it's the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Mario's Quality Roofing, Siding, and Windows. Who do you think is behind these drones? A, Iran/China. B, U.S. government. C, E.T., extraterrestrials. Who do you think is behind these swarms of drones that are now being sighted even here in Massachusetts, in New Hampshire, in New England, in New York City, in Philadelphia, in Connecticut, as I said now, even in California? Obviously, New Jersey, for whatever reason, has become the epicenter. A, Iran, China, in other words, a foreign adversary. B, our own government. C, they're UFOs, extraterrestrials. I want to hear from you. You can vote on our webpage, wrko.com/Kuhner, wrko.com/Kuhner, Kuhn as in national ER. You can also vote via X, and as you saw last night, I was extremely active on X. My handle there, all one word, at the Kuhner Report, Kuhn as in national ER. Dave in Roxbury. Thanks for holding, Dave, and welcome.
Call home.
E.T. come home, huh? Sorry, E.T. go home. Dave, what do you think is happening here, my friend?
Okay, Jeff, let's get right to it. Number one, if it is so-called the U.S. military involved with this, everybody should have been notified no matter what the circumstances, no matter what they're doing. And that's, none of this would be going on. Everybody's flipping all over this, Jeff. They're going from Jersey all the way up to New Hampshire, and who knows if they're going to even go up to Canada. And at the same time, Jeff, they have stealth technology the way they can't be traced, they can't be spotted, and the whole thing there makes no sense at all, Jeff. And nothing for nothing. I mean, when this all started the other day, and now it's gotten even more progress, it reminds me of the original movie, The War of the Worlds, where they started invading the planet Earth because they're all over the place and nobody could do anything. The bombs could, whatever you know what I'm saying? Nothing could stop them except the pollution in the air that killed all the aliens and the spaceships in the movie. But Jeff, I think Biden's behind the whole thing. I think he gave them. Now, why,
Dave? What's his motivation? What's his ultimate objective here? What's his plan?
Jeff, he wants to ruin the country. He's already ruined the country. Now he wants to make it worse. And at the same time, you're going to tell me they can't even spot the ship that's off the East Coast? Jeff, it could be a submarine for that matter. At the same time, Jeff, a couple years back, this is just a movie, but a couple years back, they showed this boat just sucking in other boats. It was huge. It was like 3 times the size of a regular boat, Jeff, just sucking them in and just capturing them. It was a ransom type movie or something like that, like kidnapping half of the delegates on the ships. But I think Biden's giving them the green light, like it's on what you're saying, because Jeff, everything was normal somewhat when we got Trump in, and now he's doing this just before Trump does get in officially, and Trump should be told everything that's going on. And we should have been known on what they were doing at nighttime if they're looking for a dirty bomb or some type of gas that they're looking for. And it's only going on at nighttime, Jeff. It's not going on during the day. And so what country would it be? Would it be, China? Would it be Korea? Nobody's telling us nothing, but yet they know who it is. And we're not being told a damn thing.
Well, I think that's what's setting off the panic. And what's worse, now they've been spotted over Trump's second home, Bedminster, and they won't stop hovering over Bedminster. So now they're potentially targeting Trump. or, his home and his family. And, look, I don't agree with Chris Christie on almost anything. But even Manja, Chris Christie, Buffet Chris Christie, came out yesterday and saying, Mayorkas is lying to us. I've seen the pictures. Everybody in New Jersey has seen the pictures. For him to tell us this is a figment of our imagination, either he's crazy or he thinks we're all idiots. Now, it's been about a month. The first sighting was November 18. What are we, the 16th today? So it's basically been, minus 2 days. It's been a month. And they haven't done anything? Nah. Dave, something is seriously wrong here. Seriously wrong. And I'm with Russ. It's time for Congress to act. Congress needs to demand and get answers saying, look, this is not acceptable. We want answers, or I'm sorry, you're going to be impeached. Like, this is becoming now a national crisis. Dave, thank you very much for that call. I really appreciate it. And think about what they're telling us. They're even telling the Coast Guard, don't shoot any of these mysterious drones down. Why? Because they could contain biological or chemical weapons. Well, if they potentially contain biological or chemical weapons, why are you allowing them to fly into the United States? Hello? 7:32 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, the drone mystery now intensifies. It gets worse and worse. It's not getting better. There are more drones now that are being spotted and sighted all over New Jersey, New York City. Now, yes, here in Massachusetts and in New Hampshire as well. They were spotted in Barrington, New Hampshire. In Massachusetts, they're now being spotted, at least a dozen of them on Cape Cod, Harwich. Quincy now has had a sighting. Logan Airport has had a sighting. So the question now is, what is behind this drone invasion? Is this our own military, our own government, testing a new sophisticated wave of drones? Are they planning something more nefarious for Donald Trump or for the incoming administration? Or are they allowing the Chinese and the Iranians to violate our airspace and engage really in the greatest theft of surveillance and spying in the history of the United States? This is the Chinese spy balloon on steroids. Or, after spotting that orb that was seen over New Jersey on the weekend, a flying sphere. You got to see this. The first time I thought, you know what? This could be a UFO. I mean, that orb was bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. So something is happening. Everybody knows it. But our government is lying to us. What are they lying about? 617-266-6868. Mark in Medford. Thanks for holding, Mark, and welcome.
Jeff, and happy Good morning, Jeff, and happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday. Merry Christmas if I don't speak to you before Christmas. All the best to you and your family, Mark.
And you're the best. Our government, and especially this John Kirby, are so full of crap that their eyes are brown, okay? I want to let you in on something. I don't know if you saw it this morning, Jeff, but the drones that were spotted near Logan Airport, the 2 people out of the 3 were located and arrested already, and 1 escaped on a boat, okay? So don't give me the bull crap that you don't know where these drones are coming from and who's operating them. If they already arrested 2 guys in Boston for this, okay? Our government is full of crap. Okay, Jeff?
Mark, I'm just curious. You're completely right, as usual. What's your theory? What's happening? And why is it getting worse and not better? Like, in other words, usually, right, when there's a bad situation, think about it, Mark. The governor of New York is complaining. The governor of New Jersey, they're raising holy hell. You've got Democrats in Congress going crazy, wild, attacking Biden, attacking Mayorkas, attacking Kirby. I've never seen this, where they're saying we're being lied to. I'm sorry, we're just being lied to. Republicans are on the warpath. So we're talking Congress, we're talking governors, we're talking state legislators, we're talking hundreds of mayors, we're talking police chiefs from all across New Jersey, New York. Now you got the Harwich police chief here in Massachusetts saying, we know what we saw. And in fact, we spotted one of these massive drones, two of them above our police station. So don't tell me it's a run-of-the-mill commercial residential drone. So you've got police chiefs now with video footage, camera footage, saying our government is lying. What's happening? What do you think is going on, Mark?
Forget the gentleman's name that reported the mothership. What was his name?
Congressman Jeff Van Drew, New Jersey Republican.
Van Drew. Okay, yes. I agree with that. And you said you confirmed this morning that there was a ship that left China and is now on the eastern seaboard.
Iran. It left Iran. It was a Chinese. They bought it from China. It's a Chinese ship, but they bought it from China.
So, New Jersey, Logan Airport, Cape Cod, what do all those have in common, Jeff?
Military bases, military installations.
Where are they located, Jeff?
On the eastern seaboard,
Yeah, thank you. It's all surrounded by the ocean. So don't tell me for a minute that these things appear at night and disappear before it gets daylight, when you can see where they're coming from and then where they're retreating to. Okay, our government is full of. Well, I almost said the S word. Sorry, Jeff. Our government's full of crap. Because let me tell you something, Jeff. If these were our drones and they're not telling us there are drones, then shame on these people. Shame on them, Jeff.
Mark, as always, thank you for your call. 617-266-6868. Look, if these are our drones, the government should tell us. Again, they don't have to get into details. We don't need to know what kind of technology. I get it. You want to preserve secrets. I get it. But you should come out and say, look, please, everybody calm down. We're running tests. We're, whatever. It's a trial run. We're just, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Everybody will calm down. But I think they're not doing that because there's something much, much more dark and much more evil afoot. And look, I go back. My theory is these are foreign adversaries. And they're using the latest technology to spy on us. Why? Because Biden's letting them. He's on his way out. Biden's allowing them to do this. And if this is true, I'm telling you, he and his entire regime should go to jail. This is unforgivable. Unforgivable. 617-266-6868. Linda in Florida. Thanks for holding, Linda, and welcome.
Yes, I love your show so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda.
So I have a different theory. Do you remember in September of 2019, the World Health Organization, Gates Foundation, and Johns Hopkins, they did a simulation of a new coronavirus coming. It was called Event 201. I think a lot of people know that. And the exact things that they talked about happened when Corona hit. How did they know that? So in January of 2024, there was another simulation done by the World Health Organization company. It was called Disease X. Now, just a few weeks ago, the media was reporting a mysterious illness in the Congo that has killed 400 plus people. And what is the name of this mysterious disease called? Disease X. Okay, this was just a few weeks ago. Also, a few weeks ago, there was a story that broke. There was an interview on December 4th with Dr. Peter Hotz. He's that lunatic PhD professor of biology and pediatrics. He at Baylor College in Texas. Now, he was interviewed by Nicole Wallace, and he was talking about viruses and how JFK Jr. is a threat. Dr. Hotz said, and I quote, he said, big stuff is coming down on January 21st, and Trump better have the right team in place. Well, I was doing research about drones spraying chemicals, and they already have agricultural drones that spray pesticides. And I came across this video from China during COVID that shows drones spraying disinfectants over the city. Is it possible that these drones, whether it be from the Chi-Coms or our own government, the DOD, are they spraying something in densely populated areas that will make us sick, sort of like to start the next pandemic? What are your thoughts?
I think it's possible. I don't rule it out. And I haven't really mentioned this angle only because I really don't want people to be panicked or to be worried. I never want to give false information. This has not been corroborated, Linda. Okay. It has not been corroborated, but on social media, there are many people in New Jersey and in the New York City area, and I mean hundreds. You can look it up on social media, who say that they have seen drones and it looks like they're spraying something. This was about 3-4 days ago. And they're like, look, and they're taking pictures and they go, something is being sprayed into the atmosphere. Now, that has not been corroborated. It has not been verified. But am I really worried about it? Do I think it's possible? Yes. 7:50 on the break, WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer, 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, this is now breaking. So apparently now this is in Ohio. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base has now shut down completely due to unauthorized drone activity in the area. So now it's going right into the heartland. It's not just on the eastern seaboard now or on the west coast in California or here in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Now drones have been spotted here on the Cape, in Harwich, in Quincy. Apparently now, I haven't verified this last one, but apparently Tewksbury now. There may be a sighting in Tewksbury here in Massachusetts, Logan Airport, Barrington up in New Hampshire. Now it's in Ohio. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base says there were large, mysterious drones violating the airspace of that Air Force Base and that they had to shut it down. These are completely unauthorized drones, very large, mysterious, can disappear. They are almost undetectable and untraceable. So again, something is clearly going on. 617-266-6868 is the number. I just want to run this by everybody. What if this gentleman who was cited in the Gateway Pundit, and, he's not some crazy conspiracy theorist. This is a man who owns Saxon Drones. His name is John Ferguson. He is the CEO of Saxon Aerospace, LLC, Saxon Drones, and he is an expert, literally an expert, in the field of unmanned aerial systems and unmanned aerial vehicles. They make drones, in fact, sophisticated drones, for the U.S. military and for the U.S. government. And many of them are military drones, not just with incredible surveillance spying capacity, but even to deliver payloads, explosives, missiles, whatever it may be. And so on a TikTok video, because he's been inundated with questions, what is your theory? And he says there's no question, in his view, that these drones are highly unusual. It is the kind of technology we have not seen in the United States. And he says that he believes they belong to the government, highly classified, top sensitive, nothing that is commercial, nothing that is residential. And that he said, and this is what he said, I don't particularly believe that these drones have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe is my opinion. And he says, look, I've not bounced this off of anybody. This is just, my opinion. So if you think it's BS, I'm cleaning up his language, it's fine. I don't want to spread misinformation, and I don't want to spread panic. But he goes, this is what I know about drones. And according to him, he says that, and he's adamant on this point, if you use drones for conventional means, for mapping purposes, agricultural purposes, Linda in Florida talked about pesticides, to spray on crops or whatever. He said that you do in the day. To fly drones at night, they're practically useless if you want to use them in any conventional sense. But then he goes on to say that there is a reason why they're flying at night. And he says the reason why they're flying at night is because this may be part of a larger secretive government operation to locate either a missing nuclear warhead or a dirty bomb in a suitcase or whatever. And then he points out that there was an incident several years ago where mysterious flying drones across Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up in Nebraska all the way down into Kansas. His facility is based in Kansas, and out into Missouri. And he said, we found out that the reason why these mysterious drones were being used was that they were looking for radioactive material, because apparently the United States government had lost track of some of this radioactive material. So he says, I know that was a couple years ago. He says, my theory is that they're using these drones at night equipped with advanced sensing technologies. And this suggests that they are being used for specialized tasks, such as it's called ISR, such as intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. And so he said, and this is what he said, and he goes, and by the way, that these intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance drones are the most sophisticated advanced on Earth, and that they are likely aimed at detecting hidden or elusive targets, whether it be gas leaks or radioactive materials. And I'm going to quote directly now from what he said. Now, drones have no reason to be in the air at night unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Looking for bad guys, or looking for a victim, a search and rescue victim, or for law enforcement, or some type of military project. There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, because they don't see, I can't say this word, because they don't see crap. Unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff, it's got to be done during the day. Here it is now. The only reason why you would ever fly an unmanned aircraft at night is if you're looking for something whether it be a person or trying to smell gas. And he goes on about how drones are very good at finding gas leaks. But he said, let me tell you what they're really good at. Quote, we also have special sensors that can detect radioactive material. And he says, I believe that this is why the United States government is deploying all of these drones, and they're not telling us about it in order not to create panic. And he said that, he goes on to say that my belief is, either they're trying to smell something on the ground, gas, leaks, radioactive material, whatever. And then he goes on to say that, that he says that, he's very concerned. He doesn't want to be a pessimist. He doesn't want to be negative. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want people to be panic, or to, suddenly start, worrying. He goes, I don't want to spread misinformation, but people are asking me and I'm really worried. Now, Joe Rogan, the famous podcaster, said he saw this video on TikTok, and this is what he wrote. This is the first video about these drones that has got me genuinely concerned. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's got me genuinely concerned as well. So I think that's why the government has to tell us the truth, and they have to level with the American people. And I got to tell you, if they are looking, and maybe they're trying to cover their rear ends, right? CYA, cover your, you know what. I always said about this open border that it was reckless and irresponsible beyond imagination. Because when you allow millions and millions of people to flood our country unvetted, you are opening the door to terrorists coming in. And God forbid a terrorist with a dirty bomb. And this could be the government. It's a theory, and that's what Ferguson is essentially hinting at. John Ferguson, the CEO of Saxon Aerospace, all they do is make government-backed drones. So he knows what he's talking about. He's hinting at they're looking for nuclear material. They're looking for a potential dirty bomb. Now, let's just say they are. I think they're giving the American people, honestly, not enough credit. If they say, look, we believe there's a potential nuclear threat, we need all your help, we need all our eyes and ears to be open, that's why these drones are looking for this person, we believe there's a terrorist with a potential nuclear device. We need your help in finding and locating this person. I think the public would not panic. They wouldn't all just mindlessly run into the streets like, chickens without a head and start trampling each other and running over each other and, fleeing into the interior of the country and, I think it'd be the exact opposite. I think you would see the American people vigilant. They would be engaged. They would throw all of their energy, all of their support, and together we'd probably find this person. Instead, all they're doing now is wreaking havoc, sowing chaos, and paranoia. So I don't care how you look at this. What the government is doing by deliberately lying to us is the worst thing possible. And again, they need to be held accountable. We've got to stop accepting the norm that our president lies to us, that our national security team lies to us, that our generals lie to us, that our media lies to us. Give us the truth. You work for us. We don't work for you. We deserve the truth. We demand the truth. We want the truth. Agree, disagree. UFO in Brockton. Thanks for holding, UFO, and welcome.
Jeff, one quick note. If I end up being cut off or anything, my phone's been acting weird for a good week. So it's not on purpose. I used to fly against UFOs for the Air Force. Where were we based? Out of Otis Air Force Base, the radar planes. We had encounters. What can I tell you? Nobody believes me, but you don't have to. The Air Force even denied one encounter. We were flying 30 miles north of Virginia Beach off the coast, and it was Wallops Island, Virginia, missile test site. This is in the 60s now, the mid-60s. We would clear civilians out of the way so the government could shoot missiles. Anyway, we ran into a UFO, and it shut down electronics on our plane. These were radar planes. We had a lot of electronics. And the only thing that worked were the engines, and Major Pitch would scream, "Get it on detail, document the UFO." Trouble was, nothing worked. We couldn't document it. And 2 seconds before we were able to document it, the damn thing took off. Had an encounter off the city of New Bedford. I never told the Air Force because that was off duty. It came right up to the windshield of my car, Jeff. It looked like the tip of a sparkler. And this thing was just feet outside my windshield. I'm looking at it. It's looking at us. And who knows? I didn't tell the Air Force because they would have taken my wings. Incidentally, there's a class of UFOs called USOs. And it's basically unidentified submerged objects. And this is where, if there is a mothership, it would be in the ocean because you wouldn't be able to see it, which is what they want. I want to clarify something. People said they see them at night. Do you ever think that those things are making that noise on purpose so you do see them at night? I have a gut feeling that Biden and them are trying to fight these things, which is what we don't want. Because they've never shown aggressive moves against anybody. In fact, in Vietnam, this riverboat came under fire from a UFO, and around the corner of the river they were on, the other boat came to its rescue and started firing and getting fire from a UFO. When they examined it, when the thing took off and they examined the damage, it turns out the bullets that hit our ships were the ones we fired. They basically turned them around, so if you fire at one, it's going to just turn around whatever you shot at it and send it to you. I don't know what
so UFO, I've got to ask you, you think what they're seeing, especially in New Jersey, I know it's now spreading across the country. I grew up in
New Jersey, right where the first seen, northern New Jersey is where I grew up.
No, I understand. You think those are UFOs?
UFOs that want to be seen.
Okay, now why do they want to be seen?
Well, put it this way. I have a hybrid, a Toyota hybrid. Are you there, Jeff, or did I lose you?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just curious, though. What's your theory? Why do they want to be seen?
People say, well, it makes a heck of a noise. What's wrong with it? I said, nothing. That's a fake noise they put in there to warn people, we're backing up or we're going forward. It's the same thing with the UFOs. They want to be noticed. They're making that noise up in the sky, so you look up to see them, or rather, most people wouldn't look up to see the things. And I'm
okay,
sorry,
but why? Why do they want to be spotted? Why do they want to make contact with us? Is that the ultimate goal?
They could have did that a long time ago again, Jeff. Keep in mind, I spent 4 years with face-to-face with these things. They've never been aggressive. I honestly believe they want to help us, and they want to keep us from blowing ourselves up. Honestly. Do you know basically every nuclear area in the world, whether it be bomb sites, manufacturing, has been visited by UFOs that have been reported in the sky. It doesn't mean they've made contact. But again,
now, UFO, sorry, if I can just back up, you said you had a personal encounter with a UFO. It came right up to your windshield, I believe is what you said. Did you actually see the people in the UFO? Did they personally contact you, or was it just an extraterrestrial experience that you saw?
He used to be there. At that time, my future wife and I were kind of parked against the water called the Cove Inlet, and we were looking at the stars. And we had felt funny when we pulled the car up because the insects weren't making any noise. They were usually noisy as heck. We looked across the bay, about a 2-mile look, on the South Dartmouth shoreline. We saw this light right above the water, zigzagging. And I'm looking at it saying it's silent, there's no noise, there's no propulsion. And then it hit me. I said, you know, the damn thing's a UFO, I said to my wife. And the mistake I made, Jeff, is this. The second I said, I wonder what it's looking for, snap your fingers, and that's time that it takes you to snap your fingers. This thing shot across the bay to the New Bedford size and stopped feet from my windshield. Feet, Jeffrey. I'm sorry to call you Jeffrey, but my son is Jeffrey. Anyway, I could have got out of the car and touched this darn thing. And what it looked like, a tip of a sparkler. I couldn't make out a craft or anything. This ball face staring us down, shooting out little things like sparkler tips. Yeah, I couldn't tell the Air Force because I valued my wings. I went through a lot of training and time to fly. I didn't want to lose that opportunity, so I kept silent. But again, we've had contacts. We've never had anything vicious. The one time they thought, this is, I believe, why they tell you don't shoot at UFOs, because they'll just take whatever you're shooting at them with and turn it around and send it back to you.
But just to finish this story, UFO, because this is a fascinating story. So when you basically went face to face, or whatever, car to UFO, and you confronted this UFO, or it confronted you, did it say anything to you? Did it relay any message to you? Or did it just hover in front of your car?
A year ago or so, it didn't speak. It's like you can hear the message, but they're not speaking. And basically it said, don't come looking for us. We'll come looking for you if we need you. I swear to God, Jeff, that was the message I got from them. Because how did they know where I was going to be off duty? And when I hadn't even known I was going to be down by Fort Rodman in New Bedford.
So, hold on. The message was, don't look for us, we'll look for you.
You got to understand, Jeff, I've had UFO encounters my whole life. I swear to God, I'm not. No.
Listen, I believe you believe that. There's no question about it. But I just want to make sure. No, I understand. So UFO. So what you're saying is that it said its message was, don't look for us, we'll look for you. Correct?
We need you.
We need you. That's what they said.
If we need you.
If we need you. I got you. If we need you. Interesting. Okay, interesting. UFO, thank you very much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. 617-266-6868 is the number. There are countless stories like this. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. A lot of people say they had experiences like UFO had. And let me throw it out there. What the hell? Let's throw this log on the fire. Do you believe these are extraterrestrials? It's part of our poll question. Do you believe that these are UFOs, or that some of them are UFOs? And are they trying to reach us or contact us? 617-266-6868 is the number. It is the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Mario's. Mario's Quality Roofing, Siding, and Windows. Who do you think is behind all of these drones? A, Iran/China. B, in other words, foreign adversaries. B, the U.S. government. Or, like UFO, we just heard the call, C, ET, extraterrestrials, UFOs. You can vote on our webpage, wrko.com/Kuhner. wrko.com/Kuhner, KUHN as in National ER. You can also vote on X, my handle there, at the Kuhner Report. 820 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, getting a lot of reaction and feedback from UFO's call in Brockton. By the way, you can text us 70470. 70470. This is from my sister. She texted me on my personal phone. And, Jeff, your show's starting to sound like the X-Files. And then she goes on to say, with these laughing emojis. Even the aliens are happy that Biden is on his way out. Jeff, they came here to celebrate. In all seriousness, she says, I have a friend whose husband trains special forces within the Marines on submergible drones. This is definitely our technology. What they are looking for is the $1 million question. And I agree with her. What they're looking for, I think, is the $1 million question. And the only question now is it our technology or foreign technology? Now, I want to read to you something that was released by the New Jersey state senator, and it's summing up the feelings of many in the New Jersey state legislature and the New Jersey governor's office. This is State Senator Douglas Steinhardt. And please, everybody, listen to this, because I think really hits the nail on the head. This is what he wrote. Almost 4 weeks since the first reported New Jersey drone sighting, and it's clear that global drone technology, now he doesn't mention China or Iran or Russia, but I think he's clearly, implying it's China, maybe Iran, together, working together, whatever. It's clear that global drone technology has evolved faster than the U.S. government's tactical, legal, and regulatory capabilities to identify, assess, and respond to it. The federal government's failure to be open and transparent is the singular cause of this crisis. The state legislature was briefed. My Senate office has received thousands of calls from concerned residents. There are no answers from federal authorities. But this drone saga demonstrates a critical need for a sea change. I agree with him, not 100, but as I like to say, 1,000%. I think there's no question. We're looking now at a new level of drone technology, something we have never, ever seen or imagined before. And the only question is this foreign drone technology? And that's what this state senator is hinting at. And now they're just running circles around us, literally. Or it's our own government, and they're not telling us why. But we need to know. And the fact that they will not tell us, and that they're deliberately lying to us, is now they have caused a national crisis. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree? Steve in Walpole. Thanks for holding, Steve, and welcome.
Yes, good morning, Jeff. Lot to unpack here. By the way, one thing that was mentioned that Trump is not being told of this, I suspect Biden isn't either. Trump has probably got access to everything they tell Biden, which is not very much. Remember, Joe has to wake up every day to take his nap. But moving away from that, what's another thing this could be? Could it be a drill? Yeah, that would be the best thing. Could it be a distraction? Notice how this has moved everything off of the media targets. Everybody's talking about this. Take another look at what we're not talking about. So that's another thing to look at. There are reports that these drones have lights on them. I don't think that China, Iran, Russia, or anybody else would be putting up drones with lights on them. So I don't believe the drones are being operated by a foreign government. But I do think they are searching. The premise of my call was to talk about nighttime flying of drones. You get a better heat signature when you look at nighttime. And a few minutes ago, you talked about the idea is, yes, they could be looking for a dirty bomb. As far as aerosols go, I'm not a professional in that area, but I would think I would rather drop an aerosol at night than by day because I would have fewer warm currents to waft it away, and to evaporate the carrier. So I would rather drop an aerosol at nighttime. And so that's where I think this is headed. They're looking for something. When you look at the places it's happening in the densely populated areas. Now you throw in Barrington, New Hampshire. There are copycats out there. You have a report that a few folks were detained or arrested for flying drones near Logan Airport. Those, I suspect, are copycats. But if you want to look at the densely populated Northeast, and now you mentioned California, those are both ports of entry for cargo vessels. All those large containers come in through northern New Jersey or southern California. So if I were to ship a dirty bomb to the United States...
Steve, interesting. So Steve is leaning more towards the dirty bomb theory. And that's why, pardon the pun, our government has to roll out the big guns, i.e. the big drones, to find them. 8:31 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, I plugged it earlier in the show. I do want to plug it again. There's a very important speech being delivered, a talk, tonight in Boston at Elks Hall at 7 p.m. So that's today, Monday, December 16, 1 Morrell Street, West Roxbury / Boston, Elks Hall. It is being delivered by Jessica Vaughn. She's phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. We've had her on the show many times, and we're going to have her on, by the way, tomorrow at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss it. She is the Director of Policy Studies for the Center for Immigration Studies. Now, why is this so important? Please listen to this. Her topic is immigration in the new Trump era. And in particular, she is going to lay out what Trump's plan and that of his border czar, Tom Homan, is regarding mass deportations, not just for the city of Boston, sanctuary city, but for the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which, as you know, is a sanctuary state. And what Healy and Michelle Wu are planning to do to block it. And what Trump and Homan are going to do to try to override or circumvent their efforts to prevent these mass deportations. So it is a very important talk. I urge all of you, if you can, please attend the event. It is going to be incredibly informative, very empowering. If you want to get more information or get tickets, it is the person to contact is Lou Murray. He's of Bostonians Against Sanctuary Cities, and you can email him LL Murray, Murray. So LL Murray, JR at gmail.com. LL Murray, JR at gmail.com. Again, the talk is sponsored by SAFE, Bostonians Against Sanctuary Cities. Jessica Vaughn will be speaking tonight. It'll be 7 p.m., 1 Morrell Street, West Roxbury in Boston, Elks Hall. If you can, please attend. Believe me, it's going to be worth your while. 617-266-6868. And just to stay local for a minute or two, Harwich, Cape Cod, now has had over a dozen sightings of drones, large, mysterious drones. About 13 of them appeared over the house of a single resident. She caught it on camera. They were SUV size, like a pickup truck or an SUV. They were huge. They were massive. She said it was incredibly unnerving and concerning. They've been spotted elsewhere in Harwich, along the Cape. They've now also been spotted above in Quincy and also near Logan Airport. Barrington, New Hampshire as well. So we are starting now to get these drones here in New England. Rather than getting better, the situation is getting worse. And our government continues to lie. and really is becoming like the Soviet Union, where the lies are becoming outrageous, really ridiculous, like laughable. Where this government is becoming this regime is becoming an international laughingstock. So very quickly, this is Kirby, National NSA spokesman Kirby. He's on News Nation. Now, listen to this. Again, they're asked, do you know anything about the drones? We know nothing. But they're not foreign, and they're not dangerous. But then listen to what else he says. This is the most insulting thing of all. Roll cut 9, Mike.
Now, on this mysterious drone sighting in New Jersey and now in Philadelphia, is there a concern for the American people about their safety? Do you think Americans should be concerned? Is this a foreign adversary at work?
No indication at this time that it's a foreign adversary or a foreign actor. The FBI is looking at this. DOJ is looking at this. I know the Department of Defense, when it affects or comes near a military base, they're looking at this. So I can't tell you definitively exactly what we're talking about here. In some cases, the investigation has led to a revelation that it's actually manned aircraft and not drones at all. So each one's going to be a little bit different, and we're looking at this hard. We're concerned about it as well. But again, I want to stress, no indication at this time that it's a foreign adversary.
I mean, this is so some of them now were manned aircraft. Like, little propeller planes or whatever. Again, it's all much ado about nothing. Like, we'll take it on a case-by-case basis, but, we're concerned, and we're monitoring the situation, but what's everybody getting all hot and bothered about? Then came Mayorkas. This clown, head of Homeland Security. This is supposed to be his ballywick. Okay, this is supposed to be his wheelhouse. This is his jurisdiction. Listen to this. He now tells ABC News, we can't shoot the drones down. Well, what do you mean? You're the federal government. No, we just can't. We are limited in our ability to shoot down these drones. Well, if you can't shoot them down, and the military can't shoot them down, and the governors can't shoot them down, and the state police can't shoot them down, and the local police can't shoot them down, then who the hell can shoot them down? In other words, you mean to tell me that people can violate our airspace and our sovereignty and just surveil and spy and fly drone after drone after drone, and the United States is utterly powerless? Our hands are tied? We're in a straitjacket? Listen to his unbelievable response. And that's the only word, unbelievable. Roll cut 10, Mike.
I want to assure the American public that we are on it. We are working in close coordination with state and local authorities. And it is critical, as we all have said for a number of years, that we need from Congress additional authorities to address the drone situation. Our authorities currently are limited, and they are set to expire. We need them extended and expanded.
What exactly do you need?
We want state and local authorities to also have the ability to counter drone activity under federal supervision. That is one important element that we have requested, and we've heard it echoed by the state and local officials themselves.
You need more authority? No, the law is clear. You can shoot down these drones anytime you want. You just don't want to. Which begs the question, why? Why? Now, listen to this. On the one hand, we're concerned. We're on top of it. We need more power, even more control. It's always more. But we can't do anything. But on the other hand, listen to this. Here it is. This is all a figment of everyone's imagination. Roll cut 11, Mike.
There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings. Some of those drone sightings are in fact drones. Some are manned aircraft that are commonly mistaken for drones, and we do see duplicative reporting. But there's no question that drones are being sighted. Let me set the record straight here, George. There are thousands of drones flown every day in the United States. Recreational drones, commercial drones. That is the reality. And in September of 2023, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, changed the rules so that drones could fly at night. And that may be one of the reasons why now people are seeing more drones than they did before, especially from dawn to dusk.
I mean, this guy's an idiot. Seriously, he's a first-class moron. God, boy, where were you when God was handing out brains? Him and Bill and Sudbury. I swear to you. It's like this is beyond, beyond idiotic. As the Russians would say, idiot. Okay? Idiot. So, let me get this straight. These are now planes? Or they're just regular commercial residential drones? Or, listen to this, well, they changed the rules last year to fly at night. So maybe now that's what they're seeing. Just more drones in the sky at night. So why didn't they see them, I don't know, 12 months ago, 8 months ago, 4 months ago? Like, how stupid do you think we are? Look, I'm gonna lay my cards on the table. January 20th, honest to God, cannot come fast enough. It's like the next 4 weeks, it's like it's going to seem forever. No, they're lying to us, and they're enabling and allowing this to happen. The only question is, why? Why? What are they hiding? 8:49 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, I know I played the cut earlier in the show. I want to play it again because they're speaking from both sides of their mouth. On the one hand, you've got Mayorkas and Kirby and Biden and the whole criminal gang lying and telling us, it's not foreign, it's not dangerous, doesn't pose a threat. We don't know what they are. But don't worry about it's commercial drones, residential drones, manned aircraft. You guys are seeing, you're all crazy. All of you. You're all nuts. But on the other hand, I want you to listen now to the Belleville, New Jersey mayor, Michael Melham, who now is, and by the way, and remember, the feds are now claiming we don't have the authority to shoot these drones down. But on the other hand, they're telling state governments in New Jersey and New York and others, whatever you do, don't shoot these drones down. Well, why? Because they could have chemical or biological weapons. What? Yep. They could have bombs. They could have missiles. So, listen now to the Belleville, New Jersey mayor. Tell Fox News, we're now being told if one of these drones is downed, call the bomb squad immediately, and the fire department, tell every firefighter, put on a hazmat suit. Because there could be chemicals or biological weapons inside the drones. But no, it's all safe. It's all regular, commercial, residential. This is all, it's all run-of-the-mill stuff. Listen now to Belleville's New Jersey mayor. Roll cut 13, Mike.
On the way here, I was on the phone with my OEM team, and we now have guidance coming from the state. And that guidance does say two different things. First of all, if there is a downed drone in our vicinity, we are immediately to call the bomb squad of our county. And second, our fire department has been instructed to make sure they wear hazmat suits.
So if something falls out of the sky that people have seen, and some of these things are as big as an SUV, if that happens, you're to treat this more than a plane crash. It's treated like an attack on the homeland?
That is correct, because they're not quite sure if there's a payload or not.
Oh, see what I mean? I mean, the bull, I got to be careful. It almost came out of my mouth. The Bravo Sierra, the BS, the bull crap. I mean, honestly, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Okay, very quick. Very, very quick. This was sent to me by Sheriff Jerry, good friend of mine, law enforcement. This is in Dennisport, Massachusetts. Okay? So Dennisport, looking towards Harwich, pointing towards Harwich, on Cape Cod. It's a drone. And it's hard to explain. It's very big. I've never seen a drone this size. Massive light around the drone. It almost looks like a giant sphere. Like I said, like an orb that was spotted in New Jersey over the weekend, with these blue lights flashing across the sky. I'm telling you right now, it's, you look at this, and this is just a picture. Imagine being there, or, like a house or a residency or the area where you're spotting this. It looks menacing. It's definitely no ordinary drone. Okay, Mayorkas is a liar. There's no way in hell this is some commercial residential drone. This is not some little propeller plane. This is something very advanced, very sophisticated, honestly, very unnerving, very concerning, menacing, frightening. Like, you see this and you're like, that's a mother drone. That is a very, very big drone. And a mysterious, I mean, the lights, I'm not saying it's a UFO. You know my theory on this, and it's just a theory. I think these are the Chinese and the Iranians working together. Or my plan B, or my second theory is it's the U.S. military, and they're laying the groundwork for something very nefarious. Okay, that's my honest opinion. But you look at this, and I could see why somebody would think this is a UFO. I mean, I really wish I could have a camera on me now, and, the show was being live streamed, because I could show the picture. And you would look at this and you say, Jeff, that's no ordinary drone, man. That's scary. Really. The only word I can use is it's scary and it's creepy. 617-266-6868 is the number. Dan in Linfield. Thanks for holding, Dan, and welcome.
Long-time listener. I only call when I have something to say.
Welcome, Dan. Welcome.
You're going to be even more upset when you figure out what it is, and I'm going to tell you what it is because I heard it from a very reliable source, but I can't tell you who it is. The machines themselves are not nefarious, but it's what they're looking for. They're looking for dirty bombs, not bombs. What do you think of that? And port of origin is probably New Jersey, and they believe they're going up the East Coast.
Well, look, Dan, John Ferguson, I quoted him extensively earlier. He is this, you can look it up, please don't take my word for it. He is the CEO of Saxon Aerospace. They're one of the top drone makers, producers in the country. He gets a lot of government contracts, a lot of military contracts. And that's pretty much now, he said, his theory. Now, look, I don't want to panic people. I mean, we don't know. We're all operating in the dark. We have incomplete information. But according to him, he says, look, I know drones like the back of my hand, that they're being used at night, the way they're being deployed, the types of drones that are being used. He says it's either for some kind of a leak or radioactive material, nuclear radioactive material, i.e. dirty bombs, a dirty bomb or multiple dirty bombs. So to be honest, Dan, you've got very prominent, influential experts in the field who are completely on your wavelength on this issue. Now, this is what I don't get. Now, Dan, we may disagree on this, which is okay. Why not just tell the public? I mean, I understand they don't want to panic the public. They don't want to scare the public. But, I mean, look, we've been through 9/11. I mean, God knows this country, you know, we've been through how many? The Iraq War, the Afghanistan War, Boston. We had the Boston Marathon bombing. You know, it was civilians that caught the Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. I mean, again and again and again, it's always civilians. You know, same thing with that United Healthcare shooter. It was actually civilians that caught him at that McDonald's in Pennsylvania. So why not tell the public we're looking for a guy, dirty bomb, suitcase, you know, whatever it be, a missing nuclear warhead, whatever it is. Here's what we think where he is. Here's a rough description. Help us. You be our eyes and our ears. Why don't they just tell us then? Or are we incapable? Are we just too immature to handle information like this? What say you?
A bomber hiding in your boat in your backyard and knowing that your neighbor may have a nuclear weapon. You know, the vigilante stuff, the heroicism, I mean, God knows what could come of it.
So you think it would sow too much panic and chaos, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Interesting. So you're saying it's dangerous, but it's not nefarious. In other words, look, they just can't tell us. But let me ask you this, Dan. Why not tell Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, Schumer, Senate Majority Leader? You know, in other words, look, wink, wink, don't tell anybody. But here's what we're looking for. This is what we're tracking. This is what we fear is happening. Can you just tell your guys, your people in Congress, calm down? You know, we're not going to tell you much. Just calm down. We're on top of this. Stop making a big stink about this. How come they don't at least tell a few members of Congress? What's your theory?
Think they don't know. These are professional liars.
Sorry, Dan, I missed it. So they don't know you're saying what? Oh, you're saying, maybe they have, but they just don't believe them. Is that it?
No. What makes you think that these people do not know? They're professional liars.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you. Interesting. Dan, thank you very much for that call. Look, let me ask all of you. Do you agree with Dan? Dan thinks, believe it or not, there's nothing nefarious or dark or evil behind the motives of the government. They have a problem. They had an open border, which allowed terrorists to just walk into our country, and now they've got one or maybe two or three or whatever who are carrying a dirty bomb or nuclear radioactive material. And they're trying to find, that's why they're expanding the search. It's from New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and that's what's driving all of this, and that's why they have to remain silent, for fear of causing a full-blown panic. 617-266-6868. Tommy in West Virginia. Thanks for holding, Tommy, and welcome.
You know, it's almost like I'm listening to an Art Bell program. You remember Art Bell, right? Late night radio.
Yes.
People calling in saying, Art, believe it or not, last night I got beamed up by aliens. They put me in a spaceship and they probed me like I went on a canoe trip with Ned Beatty, only they didn't have any banjo music in the background. But anyway, no, I think something big is going to happen, and it wouldn't surprise me if something big happens, like another 9/11, and all of a sudden martial law is declared. That's my Art Bell theory.
Now, I just play devil's advocate for a second, Tommy, and honestly, any theory now is pretty much as good as any others because we're in the dark. We know some information, we don't know everything. Tommy, what do you say to the argument? Well, now the problem is this has gone on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And really, the public now it's a mini panic. That's what's starting to happen now. It's a mini panic. It's becoming a national crisis. There's so many sightings now, and there's such irrefutable, overwhelming evidence of what people are seeing. Nobody believes this government that if they were to do another 9/11 or blow up Trump's home or an assassination attempt or declare martial law, that the country would just see right through it. That it's just not smart because this is so obvious. It's a swarm of drones every night, now in multiple states for a month. What say you?
You have too many people like Bill in Shrewsbury, and you have other people that listen to NPR that believe everything that Nina Totenberg tells them. So you'd have about a third of the country saying, well, it all makes sense to me. So I don't know, and I really hope I'm way off base, but I just think that we're getting set up for something. And, honestly, with Trump and his appointments, especially that appointment of Kash Patel, can you imagine the information that guy is going to release to the country? We're going to find out, hey, you know something? A lot of crackpots were actually right about what the FBI had done through the years. Like I said,
No, Tommy, I'm with you. Look, Tommy, really, I got to tell you, the cabinet that Trump has announced, and you mentioned Kash Patel, and you're completely right, but think about RFK Jr. at Health and Human Services. What he's going to uncover about the COVID, the jab, the lockdowns, the Wuhan lab. I mean, that's the medical deep state that he's going to expose. Tulsi Gabbard, the CIA, the NSA, the intelligence community, the illegal spying. By the way, did you see that it came out? I don't want to get too off topic here, Tommy. The FBI was now caught illegally spying on Kash Patel. They were illegally surveilling Kash Patel and illegally reading his emails and listening in on his conversations. So the whole regime is going to collapse like a house of cards. They can't have... Trump is going to be their biggest nightmare. I mean, this is going to be a fatal blow if this guy manages to get the power and puts in all of his top people that he wants to put into the cabinet. So I hear you, Tommy. That's my fear. My fear is this is our own government, and they're laying the groundwork for something very dangerous, very lethal, and very deadly. I put nothing beyond these people. Nothing. And just, Tommy, again, indulge me. I want to give you the final word. Just objectively, let's just stand back, okay? Just objectively. They have a crisis now of confidence. Nobody believes them. Most people, you're right, the Bills in Sudbury and the Chris's in Gloucester and the Franks in Gloucester, but those are fanatics and zealots and ideologues, okay? Those are the goose steppers. But most normal, sane people with some skepticism and some independence of thought, nobody believes them anymore. Well, why? They lied to us that the President of the United States was an agent of Russia. The Trump-Russia collusion hoax. They lied. They lied about COVID. They lied about the social distancing. They lied about the masks. They lied about the jab. They lied about the lockdowns. They lied about Hunter Biden's laptop. I mean, I could go on and on and on. They lied about Trump being a threat to democracy. They have kept lying to us over and over and over again. So why should we believe them on anything? And we've seen that there's nothing that they're willing not to do to retain and preserve their power. And that's why everybody in the country is now waiting for the next shoe to drop. Because they look at these gangsters in power and they're saying, what are these devils planning today? Final word to you, Tommy.
Just go back to 2013 when Barack Obama was spying on journalists for the Associated Press. Okay? Nothing surprises me anymore. And you're right. A majority of the country used democracy to elect Donald Trump. So how did democracy get destroyed by Donald Trump? No, I think something big is coming, though. I really do, and it'll be Ferdinand Marcos is reincarnated in the United States for the greater good. Take
Tommy,
care, Jeff.
Thank you, Tommy, and take care, my friend. Merry Christmas. All the best to you and your family. Look, that's my fear, that they're going to use some kind of a pretext to prevent Trump from getting to power. Now, let me tell you again. I want to repeat this because it's very important. Trump now, he's about a month away. A month plus 4 days. Okay? So let's not quibble. But anyway, he's now within the time frame where he gets the exact same intelligence briefing as the President of the United States. He's now the incoming president. So everything that reaches Biden's desk, Trump now gets. Trump was asked point blank by the media, because they know if someone's going to give an honest answer, it's Trump. Do you know what these drones are? No. Do you know what their purpose is? No. Do you know what their origin is? No. I said, they have told me nothing about these drones. I don't know what they are. There's not a scintilla. I ask and ask in these intelligence briefings, and they say they have no information, except that it's not a threat and I shouldn't worry about it. To which I ask them back, this is Trump now. Well, if you don't know what it is, how the hell do you know if it's a threat or not? And he goes, they can't give me an answer. They just say, trust us. Well, how can I trust? Give me the intelligence. Show me the proof. The point is this. They are deliberately withholding information from Trump, which, by the way, is illegal now. It's a crime. He has to get the same information as the president. What are they hiding? What are they hiding? Now, I can only read the evidence two ways. You may agree, you may disagree. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Either Joe Biden has completely, forget opening our borders. He's now opened our entire airspace and all of our military sites and critical infrastructure to essentially a drone invasion. Forget the border invasion. It's now a drone invasion to China and Iran. And they can now suck up all of this information. Massive surveillance. The final ultimate betrayal. And that's why he's not telling Trump, and that's why he doesn't want to tell the public, and that's why they're playing stupid until they get every piece of critical information that they need. Okay? Or, number two, they're planning something very dangerous for our country. They are laying the groundwork to do something to derail the incoming Trump administration. I can't read the evidence any other way. You're lying to members of Congress in both parties. You're lying to Democrat governors. You're lying to mayors. You're lying. The Coast Guard has come out and said, we are being pursued by these drones. They're harassing us. They're spying on us. That's the term that they used. We send our drones to try to chase them down. They either disappear or they outrun us. We've never faced anything like this. So they're lying to the country and they're withholding critical, sensitive information from Trump. Either way, pick door one or door two. It's no good.
Oh, my
9:19 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Let me just pass on something that Grace stressed to me last night over dinner. And she said, Jeff, please, if you can just make this point on the show today, I would really appreciate it. And so I will. Because it's her point, and I think it's a brilliant point. I agree with it completely. Absolutely completely. Wherever you stand on this theory, and there are multiple theories, and as I said, I think they're all plausible because we don't have complete information. So we're essentially operating to some degree in the dark. Whatever you think of this, to me, what is undeniable, and this is Grace's point, this is an embarrassment for the Biden regime. To allow these kinds of large, mysterious drones to run wild in American skies over and to hover, as I said, now it's Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. They had to shut the base down because drones now have penetrated their airspace, flying over Fort Dix, flying over Picatinny Arsenal, which is one of our most advanced research and development military army installations, hovering over nuclear power plants, water reservoirs, critical infrastructure, to cause such panic, large swaths of the American population, and getting worse and worse by the day, and to so flagrantly, boldly, brazenly lie and tell us, no, you're seeing things. These are planes, small little planes. Remember Fantasy Island? Boss, the plane. Or, no, these are just residential drones. You don't understand. We got a lot of drones in America. What's wrong with everybody? It's insulting. Honestly, it's insulting. It's insulting to us. It's insulting to the country. It's insulting to everybody around the world. So this is what our country now is. So not only have they opened up our borders where anybody can just walk on in, but now they've opened up our skies. And that's why Trump came out on Friday, and God bless him, shoot them down. So I want to play a cut because this is, I think, this is my fear. This is what's going to happen. If the military doesn't shoot it down, or if law enforcement doesn't shoot it down, because their hands are tied because Biden is preventing them. Now they're lying, saying they don't even have the authority to do anything, according to Mayorkas. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Listen now to Chris Christie. Again, I don't agree with him on much, but listen to him respond to Mayorkas saying, how dare this guy insult everybody in New Jersey by saying, hey, you guys are just seeing drones and planes, and you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Listen now to Chris Christie. Roll cut 12, Mike.
I've been traveling around New Jersey as I normally do all week, and I can't tell you the number of people who have come up to me concerned about it. And that's
But is this a mass hysteria of some sort?
Well, here's why, George. Because of answers like the secretary just gave. They're not answering the questions.
Well, he said they're monitoring it. They haven't seen any unusual activity, and they need more authority.
Let me tell you something. I agree that they need more authority. But to not say that this is not unusual activity, it's just wrong. I lived in New Jersey my whole life. This is the first time that I've noticed drones over my house. And I was in a restaurant in Monmouth County on Friday night, had people at the bar coming up to me and saying, Governor Murphy won't tell me anything. The president won't tell me anything. Do you know? Like, well, I don't know, but I will tell you this. I think this is what happens in our society now, George, because we're used to having things so rapidly. If you don't fill that vacuum, then all the conspiracy theories get filled in there.
He then went on to say, by the way, I wasn't shocked he was at a restaurant, okay? But let that go. Yeah, I was at a restaurant. Oh, I bet you were. I bet you were, Manja. That's the only thing Chris Christie's good for. But let that go. He then went on to say, you're going to start to see vigilantism, drone vigilantism, where residents are going to start to take matters into their own hands. If the police won't act, if state authorities won't act, if the military won't act, if the federal government won't act, if nobody's going to act, somebody's going to say, to hell with it, and take out a shotgun or whatever they have and start shooting these things out of the sky. And the answer they keep giving us, which is, well, we can't shoot it down over land because, you know, it may kill somebody, it may hurt somebody. Fine. What about taking it out into the ocean? You follow it into the ocean. They're coming from the ocean. They go back into the ocean. So just track it to the ocean and then shoot it down over the ocean. Then their answer is, but it could have biological or chemical weapons. It could have munitions. It could be a payload. Well, then it's obviously a national security threat. If you're too scared to shoot these drones over the water, then obviously everything you're telling us is bullcrap. Like, I'm sorry. Either it's A or it's B. It can't be both. If it's not a threat and it's all safe and it's no big deal, then shoot it down over the water. Well, it's too dangerous to shoot down over the water. If it's too dangerous to shoot down over the water, then it's a threat. Hello? I mean, it doesn't take Einstein to figure this out. 617-266-6868. Let me throw this on the table. Okay, this log on the fire, as I like to say. Should residents shoot the drones down? 9:31 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, cleaning up the liberal bull. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, as I said, let me throw this log on the fire. Should we see, or should residents now, especially in New Jersey, but elsewhere, take matters into their own hands and start to shoot these drones out of the sky? Will residents start to engage in what Chris Christie called drone vigilantism? Do you think it's almost inevitable in the wake of government inaction and lies that you're just going to start to see people say, to hell with it? If they won't take them down, we will. Is this now the next phase of this crisis? 617-266-6868 is the number. You know my position. I'd like the government to shoot it down. I'd like the military to shoot them down, preferably over water, where nobody gets hurt, and then we find out what's inside the drone. But that's me. John in Lowell. Thanks for holding, John, and welcome.
Jeff, according to UFO Ernie, we're going to be trading illegal aliens for space aliens. How's Trump going to send them back? And Jeff, whoever's doing your bumper music is way off. They should have played the song, Don't Call Us, We'll Call You. But all kidding aside, Jeff, I've had multiple sightings over my life. But leaving that alone, there is no way in the world, Jeff, that they don't know what this is. It's impossible, Jeff.
John, what's your theory? What's your theory? Why are they keeping this information from the public?
Go anywhere. Look, there was an FBI agent a couple of years ago who said they're going to use, fake UFOs as an invasion for the world to bring in the one world government. An ex-FBI agent. Put that together with Ronald Reagan saying back in the 80s. Imagine if the world would come together, wouldn't it? So, Jeff, this can go anywhere. I have the biggest tinfoil hat in the world. The problem is most of the time I'm right. But Jeff, on this one, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, they do know what they are, Jeff. There's no way in the world they don't know what they are. And I'll tell you this too, whatever it is, it's no good, Jeff. It's no good. So, Jeff, what I do every day, I get up and I pray and I thank God for what I have and my family and my friends. And I just know that in the end, Jeff, He's in charge. That's all you have to know, and you'll have peace in your heart, buddy.
John, drop the mic. Merry Christmas, John. All the best to you and your family. God bless you, my friend. Really good words of advice, words of wisdom, profound wisdom. It's not good. It really is. I agree with him. It's not good. And eventually we'll find out. So just be thankful for what you have. 617. And and 4 weeks cannot go by fast enough. Seriously. I'm telling you, really, I tell people this now. I used to be Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I swear to you. Now it's Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy January 20th. To me, it should almost be like an official holiday now. Oh my God, yes, yes. The adults are back in charge, yes. 617-266-6868. Christine in Hanson. Thanks for holding, Christine, and welcome.
I call. I just want to point one thing out, which I'm almost positive not many people in the audience are aware of this website, but there is a website. It's a government website, and it's the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And in this website, there's an event notification reporting system. In this system, it says there's an event on December 13th that was reported with an event date of the beginning of December on the 2nd. And the event is, Jeff, that there was a shipping container that arrived at the dock empty, which was supposed to contain radioactive material. The report is that radioactive material that was supposed to arrive is just missing.
Well, that would make a lot of sense, Christine. I mean, that would connect a lot of the dots. It's what that CEO of that big drone company, John Ferguson, again, please look it up. You can see the interview for yourself. I don't want you to take my word for it, where he said, no, they're looking for radioactive material. He says, I'm telling you, as someone who makes these drones, sells them to the government, sells them to, military installations and the military, he goes, they're looking for something, either a gas leak or, as he put it, most likely a radioactive, either a warhead or radioactive material or a dirty bomb or, however you want to characterize it. And that's the theory that, by the way, is gaining, I think, now most traction on social media. People who follow this and are really zeroing in on this. So I really would not be surprised. And the question then, Christine, is this. How can the government be so freaking incompetent to allow radioactive material to be stolen and now to just be, floating around somewhere in city after city? And is it a terrorist? Is it not a terrorist? I mean, just the level of incompetence, the level of ineptness, it's mind-boggling. It really is. Final word to you, Christine.
You're exactly right. And I guess my point is, you can see it here. Anybody can go on and read this. The New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection has been notified. So I'm trying to figure out why they wouldn't notify the public. Why they would let everybody's imaginations go wild. Just say what it is.
Well, Christine, look, honestly, you and I are on the same page. Okay, that's what I would say. But then I had Dan call in from Linfield, and he did make a very good point. He goes, look, Jeff, you're rational. This audience is rational. We're calm, cool, collected. 9/11, we all went through the Boston Marathon bombing together. We've been through a lot together, okay, as a show and as an audience. But, you're dealing with the Bills in Sudbury. You have to understand that. I'm serious. You're dealing with the Franks in Gloucester, the Bens in North Andover. You start saying dirty bomb, radioactive material, you're going to have idiots everywhere. My neighbor may have a suitcase with a bomb. My neighbor may have radioactive material. And that could unleash, vigilantism, a complete panic, chaos, breakdown. Seriously, what do you think the Bills in Sudbury would do if the government said, we've got somebody with a dirty bomb or radioactive, material in in a suitcase or whatever that's loose, and we need your help? Bill in Sudbury would lose his mind. I'm not kidding. Bill in Sudbury would go after Kuhner Country listeners. Go after Kuhner. He's got it. Kill him, shoot him. So I think their thinking is that we can't handle it. That we're just so immature. We're so panic driven. We're almost like children, that if this was to get out, you would see people fleeing New Jersey, fleeing New York City, fleeing Boston, fleeing Philadelphia, like in the movies. Everybody on the highway and people fighting and killing each other, and that all, pandemonium would break out. I don't think so, but, that's probably what the regime is banking on. That's what they think is going to happen. What say you, Christine?
I'm with you, Jeff. I don't think that's going to happen. But we're also talking about now people wanting to shoot into the sky at these drones. So I don't know. It's something's got to give with these drones.
Exactly. They're creating panic. No, Christine, you're right. They're starting to create panic. Their reaction and their response is creating panic. And I think one angle people aren't looking at here is, because we're all kind of assuming, well, they have the public's interest at heart. They may be misguided, they may be a bit insulting or disrespectful, but they don't have the public's interest at heart. Or sorry, they have the public's interest at heart. No, I think it's the opposite. I think they're looking at each other and saying, oops, at best, we screwed up. Like, you're kidding. What? There's radioactive material loose in the United States? What? We let a dirty bomb into the country? What? It came in on one of these container ships in New Jersey and suddenly it's gone? And we don't know where the hell it is? So, Mayorkas is panicking, Biden is panicking, Kirby's panicking, they're all panicking because this would be a public relations nightmare for them. I mean, it would be an absolute political disaster. So that's why they have to lie to cover it up. That's if you assume they have some kind of decency. 9:49 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, liberalism's worst nightmare, baby. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, this is from 617 regarding Mayorkas now claiming that, we don't have the authority. Now we can't shoot down drones. We don't have the authority. The federal government, our hands are tied. We can't do anything. As one previous texter put it. So let me get this straight, Jeff. And he's a veteran as well. An Air Force guy. Said, Jeff, American fighter jets can shoot down Iranian drones if they're about to penetrate Israeli airspace. But now all of a sudden, when our airspace is being violated and breached, our government is telling us our military can't shoot down drones? It's insanity. I mean, it's ridiculous, really. It's preposterous. In this case, Jeff, Mayorkas is an idiot. Him signaling to locals to take matters into their own hands is like the scene from the movie Jaws, when all the locals and yahoos, I remember that scene. I thought it was a very good scene, started overloading boats and using shotguns and throwing quarter sticks of dynamite into the water to hunt down the great white shark. Does Mayorkas want gun owners to start shooting at drones in the sky? Or just local police shoot at the night sky? This is a perfect example of how inept the Biden administration has been. Yes. And that's if you're giving them the benefit of the doubt that they actually, in some way care about public safety. What if they're just deliberately allowing this to happen? I mean, with this regime, that's a very real possibility. 617-266-6868. Chip in Marshfield. Thanks for holding, Chip, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Chip?
I'm great. I remember listening to you way back when you came out of the bullpen to fill in for Michael Savage with his borders, et cetera, and his liberalism is a mental disorder.
Oh, wow. And, so you go back with the Kuhner man a long way then, huh?
Yeah, and I'm a first-time caller but long-time listener, but I had to call in on this.
Welcome, Chip.
I'm sorry?
Welcome, Chip. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jeff. I was thinking about this, and I was talking with a buddy of mine in Florida last night, and I said, this could be a multi-pronged psyop. And what I mean by that, it could be the top level of our intelligence on one side, but one thing I want to people keep in mind is 7 years ago, Donald Trump enacted the Space Force. And during that time, we saw technology being created on that level. And in that, what we saw really was SpaceX come about, if you recall.
Yes.
NASA is 15 years away from landing on Mars, but SpaceX can be there in 5 years. So the technology at SpaceX is above anything that NASA has, if you think about it. Secondly, what if, again, and I forget the term is, you're better off not telling him because if you ever get caught and tortured, he doesn't know. What's that term for when you don't tell somebody something? I forget what it is. But I think that Trump may be in that. He really doesn't know because I think there's a possibility that Elon Musk and a side company of SpaceX, keep in mind, they're one of the most secure companies in the world now. They're up there with Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, General Dynamics, and maybe even a little further ahead, that they could have created these. And what they could be doing is a couple of things. Number one is testing our defenses on the ground. Secondly, they could be just embarrassing this administration because even our administration doesn't know what's going on under the hood inside SpaceX all the time. And the more I think about it, and the government saying, don't worry, I think that also means that there may be a few in the government who do know this. And really what we're seeing here is our government at work at a level that we've never seen before. But on the other side, if it's an embarrassment, then what we're going to see when Donald Trump comes in is how much neglect has been given to the Space Force itself. That's just my thought. Maybe
Chip, you're making, honestly, Chip, you're making very interesting points. Really across the board, fascinating points. Look, the other thing I just want to add to what you said already, which I thought was excellent, is Elon Musk, maybe about a month or two ago, and I'm not saying he has anything to do with this, we don't know, but he did make a prophetic prediction. And this was based on what he saw in Russia, Ukraine. And I want to stress this. We look at Ukraine, money laundering, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, which of course we're right. I'm just saying biolabs, potential World War III, nuclear weapons being used. So we look at it from a corruption, political, military, geopolitical point of view. But Elon said we're kind of missing a key angle of the war. This war is the first war in which literally drones are fighting each other. Massive amounts of drones, swarms of drones. It's almost like a drone war between Russia and Ukraine, really NATO and the West and America, testing our technology, drone technology, against the Russians. And Elon said this is going to go down in history as the first drone war ever fought. And he said the future is going to see not more and more drones and swarms of drones. And so maybe we're getting a glimpse into the future where if it's our technology, they're using it, they're deploying it for whatever reason, or, God forbid, it's the Chinese and the Iranians. This story is not going anywhere. Bye-bye.